So we have our panelists here. So a namaste and a very good morning to everyone who's joined us today. I welcome you all to the weekly episode of Dialogue with Educationists. I am Disha Jain, Head of Brand and PR at Metamorphosis. We're an education organization that enables entrepreneurial skill sets in students right from the school level.
Yes,
And we do
thank you
this
so
through a case study based learning. We've recently launched the world's first school, which is the Metamorphosis School of Entrepreneurship. And we've started this initiative, which is Dialogue with Educationists. This is basically exciting discussion with educationists across the globe to trigger the right conversations that are necessary for the progress, transformation, and the sustainability of today's education system. So without any further delays, let me introduce the panelists we have today. So we have Mrs. Sri Lakshmi Reddy. She's the founder and director of Keystone Education Group, a visionary educator and a passion to improve learning and teaching standards. So she did her master's in the US and she came back and she started, to change the experience in the Indian education environment right here. Thank you for joining us today, Ma'am.
Thank you.
We also have Mrs. Maya Sukumaran, principal of Gitanjali Senior School. With 2 decades of experience in the field of education, she emphasizes holistic development of students. A Google certified educator since 2012, and she's won many awards from Brainfeed, Education Magazine's Lions Club. So thank you, ma'am, for joining us today. We also have with us Mr. Jaydepkar, CBSE and NCERT Helpline Counselor. He's the alumni of Regional Institute of Education. His past associations have been with Reliance, Adani, Tata, and Vidya Bhavan School. He's presently associated with Dalmia Bharat Group, and he's the Financial Literacy Brand Ambassador for School Education by SEBI and NCFE. Thank you for joining us today, sir. We also have with us our moderator for today's session, Mr. Mohammad Azhar. He's the founder principal at Knowledge Academy School in Chennai. He's an LLP master practitioner and a trainer. So he's also been a part of multiple conferences as a speaker. So thank you for joining us today, sir. And I once again want to welcome all the panelists and appreciate each one of you to share your time with us on a Sunday morning. And so today our panelists are going to have a conversation on a very interesting topic, which is new innovations in the online model of education. So the reason why we chose to converse on this topic is to understand, during the recent times, how education has transformed online and what are the methods we've thought to make the education more creative and innovative for students to engage with it. So just before I begin, 2 or 3 guidelines for the viewers and panelists. If you have any questions for the panelists, please put it in the Q&A section at the bottom, and any other conversations can happen over the chat box. And panelists, we look forward for the next 50 minutes to a very enriching conversation. So let's start today's sessions, and I hand it over to Mr. Mohammed.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome on a Sunday morning for a very energetic panelist with wide range of experiences. Welcome, audience. We are looking for a very great interaction with you all. Once again, I thank all the panelists, Metamorphosis, for hosting this dialogue with educationalists, and I welcome the audience as well, the educationalists with us. So the topic, let's get into the deep dive into the topic. The topic which we are having a dialogue today is innovations in online education. And as you all know, the post-COVID era, that online education has become a new norm for all the schools, which was a dream for India. And it has become a new norm for the school. And the whole topic will deep dive into the critical questions and how we can innovate. Now, as a panelist, we have a lot of various background, like our panelists have various background and well experienced in experimenting and doing research. And we will hear from them the whole idea of online education and models, what we can adopt. So let me request go with Jaideep sir to just present an overview on how we are now. What do you do, and being a principal of Dalmia School, how we are dealing with this COVID era and the post in the online education. Over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Metamorphosis School for inviting me. It's my pleasure and privilege to part of this program. My special thanks to Disha, Pavan, and Shivam. Actually, these people has created a good platform for the all educationists where we can share our views, and automatically the viewers can see and they can write a chat box their questions which we can address also. The thing is that here I want to discuss with you. I just little bit I will check with your permission, Mohammed sir, one minute. What actually Metamorphosis School? I hope they are doing a wonder, because I was a little bit associated with the financial education sector, but these people are creating an entrepreneur for the society. They have created a unique course, which is a first time coming in India. I hope so. There's a lot of organization doing, but they have a special courses, which I have a big thank you for this school. And then I'll check this conversation further. Now this in COVID area, you know that everybody actually it has come to mind one day where the physical and environment to your forced to the virtual environment, and everybody is forced the next day morning. We thought that now we don't have a physical structure, we have to come to the virtual structure. Teacher, principal, everybody behind that one, and they started how to save the children, how to reach the education to the children. So previously we actually thought of the virtual education is that the only physical education was the only solution. People are thinking, but somewhat we are semi-virtual. But now it has come the situation purely virtual, and we are sitting together also in virtual. The thing is that there's a lot of challenges come to the school. Now it is 110 days over. The children, teacher have learned, children has learned, parent has got a awareness. Actually, without virtual, it is very difficult to create an educational system for the children, and hybrid model is the only solution for the parents. Now, the parents and children. Now, actually, what happened during COVID, the people are struggling with the IT, and they how they will develop themselves. But slowly, the parents got the awareness. Teachers are doing a wonderful job. If you know, all principals, every school they are rotating. A lot of this NGO and the other people, companies, those who are coming with new innovation tool and are talking to the teachers and principal virtually. Now all we are in one together. The only problem is that we are facing couple of days still it's not yet solved, but still there's a device problem, internet problem, there's a connection problem, which every schools are facing. If you took the national scenario, if you look at the whole education system, still some of the areas are lacking. Leading cities like Hyderabad, Indore, Nagpur, Ahmedabad, Delhi, Bangalore. These are the cities where you will find the good schools. There are approximately 20,000 schools who are affiliated to CBSE and ICSE. These schools are doing wonder because the teachers have got an instrument device. The other teacher has got an instrument that parents having this facility and the device. But still there are 20% of parents of that basic, the top lead schools are not getting the proper facility of the virtual education. I'm not talking of the whole scenario of India, but still people are adopting, people are thinking we need to come to the virtual education. If you look at our Dalmia school, if you lockdown started 24, we started the school on 26th itself, the virtual education. So 24th it was lockdown in the places, the local administration gave a notice, but 26th we have started the virtual education. The platform to reach, because every school is a different kind of parents are there, different kinds of students are there. As a school leader, as a principal, you have to create on your platform for your stakeholders. Now, which way you can reach your children? If you have to categorize your children, what we did, I actually my sharing a personal art, what I did for the educational, for my school, I just categorize the children who is having a laptop, who is having a tablet, who is having a mobile. That is the first analysis I did in the school, and which are the children not going to get the device, and what are the problem they are facing actually, what the connection problem. So we categorize the children in different ways. We started our strategy, few for the online classes, few for the giving a YouTube channel on our own, few giving a WhatsApp message to the children, few children are away from the city. So how we can connect by mobile phone? So we can create a different strategy for different school. I hope all the school across the India, they are doing, even government also coming a lot of support. Now it is our main objective how the children get the online education, because they are physically not now in the school, they are at the home. So it is our it's a moral and your responsibility, you are accountable for that. All the educationists and the the teachers, they are doing. And you know that this physical making lesson plan and virtual doing classes is totally different. And I hope all the teachers in across the globe, the teachers are doing hard work for the children. They are creating a video, they are shooting, they are editing the content, because the content is moving, floating to the to the parents. Some of the parents more elite, they can find out the are the content as per the child standard. So every school is creating a content, one or three models. If in our school you'll find we are creating a content for the three models for the three different kind of children, the category you will see. I hope all are doing, and a salute to all the teachers in the nation. They are doing wonderful job. So this is, it's a platform is started. If you feel the in the March until date, the bar diagram of online education is increasing. It's increasing day by day, and people are catering. If you feel that the parents who are not associated with online classes in month of April, they associate, then you will find in month of June and other places the parents are increasing day by day, because they thought that this is the only platform. They are getting a awareness also. So only problem is that you need to understand on your institution, where is your stakeholders, which are the parents you have, how to cater them. Every school has to create their own strategy to address the online education for their children. Because the school which in Hyderabad, school in Indore, who is school in a rural area also, or Kerala in some of the places, they have to create a different strategy as per the under the guideline of central government and state government, which are the guidelines they have advisory they have provided to us. So every principal, every school has to create their online model on online teaching methodology for their own school. Thank you. This is my viewpoint I'm putting here. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for that virtual structure. Categorizing your parents into three, and each school will have a different strategy. That's a great. Now I'll turn the mic to our senior educationist Maya ma'am to share your thoughts or overview of this current scenario of COVID era. What do you do in that?
Yes, good morning to all. I would like to first state that it was something which was, this pandemic was something which was not expected. All of a sudden we had the lockdown, but fortunately I, being a Google educator, ensured that in 2012, right from then, all the teachers are trained for using all the apps of Google. And also they have undergone this computational thinking certified programs. And so every teacher, let the teacher be a Telugu teacher or a teacher be a Hindi teacher, every teacher in the school is actually equipped. So anyway, the lot of technology had been already used in school. And for them, this transition was not very difficult. So we too did not waste any time. And the very next day, we started with our online classes. Now, we never expected it to be for a long period, the pandemic. Now, since we realized that the period is going to be long, so it was not looking at only the teaching tools, how to teach, because I think with that comes assignments and assessments. So that was something that we had to look into. And immediately, once within a month's time, a lot of research work were done. And that is, every teacher, every department had to undergo the research work on what are the tools topic-wise they're going to use, both for assessment and assignment, and submit that. So once that was ready, by the time the school reopened again in June, the takeoff was not difficult because everybody enjoyed what they were doing. For them, it was like, it was kind of a competition. Okay, yeah, we are doing this and this. So a lot of spirit in the teachers, and so highly appreciated by the parents because we have not missed out on anything. The assignments have been coming to the teachers. They would evaluate it, send it back to the students. Everything would be virtual. We also conducted our midterm assessments, which successfully, wherein the results are on Monday. That is tomorrow. We would be sending the results to the parents. We would be having an online interaction with the parents who have not, of the students who have not done too well, and guide them. And also, one good part of this was we started conducting classes, remedial classes for the children, for students who were not able to cope up, you know. So we have all the time in hand. So in the evenings, the teachers would just take a handful in their convenience, deal with the children and ensure that the learning is happening uniformly, because definitely a classroom is a classroom of good students, mediocre, and slow learners. So we have to look into the slow learners. Now, at this rate, we cannot miss out on the students who are really very good. So special classes for them too have been, is going on, in fact. So the children should not miss out on activities. So we have the assemblies, we have all kinds of activities that happens, competitions that happens. Even though it is virtually, they feel very connected. At the same time, I think we need to definitely take care of the mental health. So taking care of the mental and physical health, very important. Right from day one in, I think I would say March 26th, we ensured that we have yoga or Zumba or some classes that's happening, and eye exercises, because they are viewing. So, you know, when you have these periods during, I mean, for the classes, I divided into odd number of periods. They will do eye exercise. The even number will do some stretch exercise, so that, you know, they don't get this shoulder problems and muscular problems. Yoga, then meditation, which is something which I felt was very, very important. So meditation is also taken care of. So, and we have groups of students, you know. Now, last week on Thursday, we had a set, the office bearers, that is the student council. They came up with a presentation wherein they went to the classrooms and they presented their, you know, the topic was mental health and how to cope with it. So, you know, the children, see, when they hear it from their peers, it's a different scene altogether. So all put together, I felt that this is the best learning period, because this learning has actually helped all the teachers, the students, and not to leave out the other end of the triangle, that is the parents. So put together, I think this is the best learning phase for all of us, because it's not them alone. I have all through being with the students. In fact, just before this, I was with a group. They're preparing for Independence Day. So I enter that. I enter the classrooms. I motivate the teachers, the students. So anything that they do, the students directly send their videos of what they do. So we are encouraging their hobbies. So they send that, you know, so they feel that they are directly approachable to me, which is, I think that connect is something which is very, very important, which we have developed a very close connect with every child in the school and every parent. So I think it's a wonderful learning time. We have to make the best use of this. We will not get this again. So with this, I would like to
thank you for your diverse experience and different research, technology, online assessment, remedial class, mental health, various kind of experience. Thanks for that highlighting, ma'am. And now I'm coming to the versatile personality, Sri Lakshmi ma'am, where she has a diverse experience from the in and abroad, and she's running a different kind of school where she runs on project-based learning, and I think that's the key today. Can you just highlight on what is that in the current COVID era? How you are managing, and what you do through online?
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Hello, everyone. I would like to answer this question at two levels. One, it's very specific to Keystone, organization, and two, in general, my thoughts. But I would like to really start off sharing my thoughts by thanking every single teacher or an educator out there. I think after policemen, after doctors and medical people and all the frontliners, I think it's our teachers who are true frontliners and who are really, really, and I think I really want to take this opportunity to clap for them. Very honestly, at this point of time, I have teachers, even in my own organization, and I'm sure it's the same story across the world, having, COVID patients in the house, they're still continuing to take the classes. Right. And it's very easy to, give up, like if you're in any other role, but especially when you're a teacher, there's a huge responsibility towards the children. So yeah, having said that, I think with regards to, Keystone, we were, always ready to accept challenges. And it is the culture and the environment of a school that matters a lot. Right? Today it could be a COVID situation. Tomorrow it could be some other, environmental challenge. Doesn't matter what challenge you're put in, the thinking process, the culture of the school, and how it impacts all the stakeholders is what we have to really look at. And with us at our organization, I think one thing that we first addressed is our teachers, right? So when we have to really understand what kind of emotional state they are in, what kind of environments are they coming from, and how do we first address the needs of the teachers. And from there, we went around and looked at, okay, what best can we do in this situation? For children, for their continuous learning. And especially when we're trying to see why there's so many questions around, right? Why can't we just, not do any kind of schooling? And because, there were so many concerns about online learning, for children at different age groups, why can't we just wait, for another year and then, start the learning? So, but we all understand as educators that continuous learning is the most important aspect. Keeping that aspect in mind, what best can we do with the children? What is the right amount of time that we can have a PP2 child online? How much time can we have a grade 3 student online? How much time can we, have our 9th and 10th graders online? And what is, how is this whole thing going to impact a teacher who's, for a teacher, right? If as a teacher, I'm being a teacher, my energy to teach to so many number of students comes with the interaction, the smiles that you share, the conversations that you share. Now that whole physical environment is taken away. And any day, a virtual environment can never be an equivalent to, an actual, school. But having, we are all aware that this challenge is not going to go anywhere soon. And every day when I open my mobile, the first thing that I would look for is, what happened to the vaccine, and, how soon it is coming back, and, what's happening with the research. So now, understanding teachers, understanding students, and prioritizing what is important for students and how best can teachers do, and how do we, match these two requirements. And most important thing that I feel, that we have done is we did not think about what would parents expect. Because that is the one expectation I felt, a lot of organization went wrong. No, this is what parents would expect, so we should do this. No, this is because, they're paying the fee or they're doing this. So I think when your approach is purely based from, thinking what is possible for, teachers and what is best for children, then right decisions will be taken. So similarly, and as I think as the other panelists have also mentioned, most important things to be addressed is that their physical and emotional needs. And at our school, we prioritized numeracy and literacy. And when I say, numeracy and literacy, if students' continuous learning has to happen majorly in English and mathematics, because these are the two core subjects that kids have to continuously practice. right? And along with all the other aspects of learning. And for us, I think at Keystone the most challenging thing was we are a project-based school. Now how do we do projects? Because that's a core and that's the central piece for us. And that's when there's so much of energy that came in from all the teachers and said, doesn't matter whether we're sitting virtually or the kids are here, let's do it, let's take the challenges. And in the project model, we do just 3 projects in a year. And this time the team has come up with, why can't we take the current challenges? What are the challenges we are facing because of COVID? And every single grade level has taken the challenge of COVID situation. Access to food, migrant problem, and what if pandemics come in the future? How do we resolve these issues? So there were so many problem statements that each grade level has taken, and currently they're working towards the solutions based on the grade level. And that was really, really inspiring for me also, both from my students and from my teachers, to see that. Since I just have 2 minutes, I just wanted to, share a very important point. I think all of us should really focus on, it's online learning, it's virtual learning. What's happening to schools? What's happening to building? I think we all just need to breathe in and understand that this is temporary, and schools are not closed. School buildings can be closed. And second, another most important thing is, all of us should always look for an opportunity to learn from this. I think from this, what we can learn is that integration and blended learning is always wonderful. And I think it's because of this virtual model. I mean, I'm able to, meet so many new people. I think otherwise I wouldn't have, really come out from Hyderabad, go meet someone in Chennai, go meet someone in, in the north. So it's, the possibilities have, and the horizons have really broadened up. And the same thing would happen to children also. I think because of the virtual mode, we have realized the possibilities of collaborations, interactions, and exposure for children can be improved. And that's the learning. And we have to always look at what can we take from this, and then post-COVID situation, we should continue to give that exposure to children. So back to you, Mr. Mohammed.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Numeracy, literacy, project-based learning, and integration, blended learning, as well as addressing the teachers with the emotional state. That's very critical. Thank you for all your inputs. Let's get into the question to our Jaideep sir. Sir, do you think that the future of education is going to be online education?
Yes. Hello. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, just everybody is having a mic. I hope in the chat box somebody, ma'am also, Rati Katwal, she has also put the questions there. Now, thing is that what is the actual the scenario of future education for the online education? Actually, if in fact this is a COVID situation, we are going for the online education, but there is no replacement of the physical as online both. Now you understood, both are required. We cannot say what the future is fully online or homeschooling like this. We cannot say like that. But still, when crisis is required, that's as both of the panelists says, it's create an opportunity for everybody to the collaboration and to be exposure, all these things. The thing is that children has got one mode of physical education. Now you think that they are getting another opportunity of online education. Now both where the children are learning and they are developing their skills. If you feel classroom education, when the children are developing their social skills, now here you find the children are creating their own IT skills. Both are the important for the children. As a parent, if you tell about the parents, I'll take an opportunity here. I'll think on that perspective, both the education is good. In Indian context of view, I cannot say purely, the physical education, online education. It will become as a mix and kind of dual type of education, which is helpful for the parents. Yes. If parents are feeling the only physical education, online education, it is very challenging task for them also, because they have to take more accountability and responsibility. So as a parents, you need to think which way you are moving. But still, this is a period of pandemic. So on that period, the only solution is that online education. Look at the all advisor of state and central government, what the situation happening. On that basis, we can decide what is going to happen. taking in the mind and thought process that this is purely going to be online education, this is not a rational decision. My point of view is that it will come. It's a, as both of the panelists said, it's a couple of time. It will, after that it will be moved and it will be recover. So then it will become to the physical. There is a certain criteria of benefit of physical education. That is benefit of the online education. As a parent, if you feel that, we have to take benefit from both of them. That's our objective. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for highlighting the very wonderful view of the future of education. I request our Maya ma'am to just highlight, like, are we really achieving online educations through online education the learning outcome? What are we doing? What are we achieving in online education?
Okay.
Or we are running for a namesake?
Yeah. With this phase of online teaching, it's the the educational space has expanded beyond classrooms.
Got it. Super.
The trends in online education are creating new opportunities for learning and new models for success. Classroom learners will have greater access to social networks that function as tools for learning. Learning by investigation is more effective form of learning. Collaborative learning is definitely a popular option in today's online classrooms. Letting traditional schooling beat the fun out of learning and encourages the natural curiosity in students. This is what I feel they achieve. The students are achieving, the different forms of learning, the collaborative learning, the learning through investigations. They are doing a lot of study, like flip classes. They are doing a lot of research.
I think we lost her.
Coming back to class, maybe any of the problems that is put across to them, or they are able to accept any, face any kind of challenging questions also put across to them, because learning has happened from their end as well as they are hearing what the teacher, I would say not teacher, the facilitator has provided to them.
Got that. Thank you. Thank you. Opening up with the different space of learning and educational, expanding the horizon of educational space. That's wonderful. Coming to our Srilakshmi, do you think that this online education can replace the physical education, or what's your view on that? Because you have seen both the worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, I very honestly, at least I hear this question on a daily basis, very honestly. And every time, one single answer I want to give is, let's change the question, right? Let's not really think about, replacing, because end of the day, we are all social beings, right? As human beings, we are social beings, and there's no other choice for all of us to go back to normal and interact than living a life with just sitting in the chairs. So yeah, to answer that question, right, I mean, I just want to pose a question to all, for everyone to just think about, right? And when children come to school, in the morning, when they wake up, when they come to school, and until the time when they go back to school, I don't think so we're all looking at books, or we're looking at their homeworks, we're looking at their exams, their timetable and everything. Now, after we all have finished our formal education. Now, if somebody asks you, what do you remember from your school, I think, and I'm 100% sure, what you would only share is your experiences. And I'm sure none of us can tell, yeah, this is the period that I had on that particular day in this particular grade. So I'm sure that's not something that we remember. We remember our experiences, whatever experience that could be. It could be a learning experience. It could be a friendship. It could be, fighting with someone in the school. It could be a nice gesture that you got from a teacher. So right from waking up to getting ready and getting into the bus and wearing your bag, coming into the school, being excited to meet a new student in the class, or meeting a new teacher in the class, every single thing is the experiences, that a student builds, right? And this whole process of, the whole world is doing this, the kids wake up in the morning, they go to schools and they come back, home. So in this whole journey, there are so many things that happen to children. They come across so many experiences, right? Can we recreate these experiences on a virtual, mode? Absolutely not. So then what is that we have to really focus on is, I think currently, because of the current situation, we are just looking at continuous learning. We're just looking at have to make sure that they do not miss out on their learning. And we're only addressing a very, very small part of their schooling experience. And very honestly, the other, maybe 50 to 40% of all the other experiences that they really go through is missing out, right? And there is so much of learning from all those experiences. And it's not just about, you coming to school, you're learning some subjects and then you learn those subjects and you go back, right? So it's very important for us to understand now, how do we create these experiences as much as possible in an online platform, right? For example, we have social emotional learning program at our school. When we had a physical, schooling happening, every day for 20 minutes, the whole school will be sitting in their own, environments, classroom environments, and there are different topics chosen across the year, and we discuss about, those important social emotional topics. And right now, and again, we've discussed now, how do we do this in an online mode? So then, we've decided, okay, the teacher decides, okay, so we have 15 minutes on an online platform that we spend for social emotional learning. So the teacher decided, okay, now because we are all there in our own rooms, in wherever we are sitting, let's clean up our room. And that's the important learning. And all the kids moved from their chairs and they were folding their bed sheets, or they were putting their table properly, or sorting everything in the classroom. So yes, we can always, bring in such experiences even into an online platform or a virtual mode, but that is still trying to look for doing the best in the worst situation, right? But what is important is, like I already mentioned, that replacing online education, replacing schools is never should be the question for us to think. It should only be about what is the best we can do in whatever situation we are in. Let's say tomorrow when all the kids come back, right? Trust me, every single teacher will have so many complaints about her children. Man, they forgot everything and they don't remember anything, or they might have concerns with, schools are also about routine and discipline and so many, simple norms and procedures you have at the school. And we have to ensure that when kids come back to the school after this, pandemic, how do we go back to disciplining? How do we go back to making them understand their routines? So, there's so many things in a schooling experience. It's not just about online classes and just giving them those subject knowledge is just one part of the schooling. So yeah, I mean, yes, if the situation continues for a longer period, we have to look at possibilities to engage our children in providing the experiences that they're missing by not being able to come to the school. But ultimately, our focus has to be, when they come back also, what are the things that we have to address? Yeah. So back to you, Mohammed. That's my take.
Yeah, thank you. Best in the worst, providing the alternative experiences. Great. Thank you. So let me pose a question to our Maya ma'am. Question is like, what best pedagogy can be applied in online mode of education?
Definitely, and I believe in that we should have a physical touch with the students for developing their emotional and social beings, wherein I feel a mix of both. Let's have the blended form of education wherein the experiences are going to be, they come to school and there are days they don't come to school. There are things that we can do online, as I had already mentioned, we can cater to the weaker students, or I would say the slow learners of the school, by interacting with them and bringing them to the classroom level, so that they do not feel dejected that they are not like the others. I feel to bring them, we need to have this kind of a model, definitely, so that there is, we cater to those kind of children. And then let's have some specially online trained teachers also. I think that is good to have them, who can also, the schools can start taking specially abled children and children who are not able to come to school. Let's have classes for them, and with these educators who would be teaching online. So I think this online mode, that is a blend of both the conventional classroom and online, the blend of the two is really very important. Then I also feel that, having, as Mrs. Reddy was saying, about project-based. So online, I think we can have this 3D, in fact, that will help in whether you're in a classroom or whether you are at home. If we have the 3D support system with augmented reality, I'm sure that is going to benefit the child's learning. It will definitely help them out. Then I feel for the older children who have to face university admissions, the interviews for that, and for entrances, let's introduce, let the teachers guide them and choose courses, online courses from MOOCs. I think the massive open online courses are the best courses that can help the child get that extra information on the subject that they would like to do the course on. So a blend of both the learnings is definitely. Then another thing is we can have guest lectures from anywhere, from the any experts from anywhere in the world who can also, in fact, we also have conducted, we had somebody from Germany, somebody from various places who have given lectures to the students, and they are all specialized in their education. In that particular SAT, there is more connectivity with the world outside, hearing lectures from Harvard or from Cambridge or from anywhere possible. So what happens is we give them an exposure to both, I think, simultaneously, and that would benefit a child. And we are preparing the children and the teachers for the future education.
Got that. Thank you. Giving a various range of experiences and getting into a different model of learning is possible. So thank you for that. So Jaideep sir, do you think that this online education is going to mushroom homeschooling in future, especially in India?
Sir, if you talk about the homeschooling, just a minute, I'll just share this point. But still, I have somebody has put a question in the board, Kai Umitha N. What would be the advice to the parents in the current situation? I'll edit that because they are the viewers. Then it will come, because the parents come, it is come to the homeschooling. So I agree to that. What is the role of parent? I hope all the panelists, everybody who is sharing role of the teachers and how the children has to do. Now, in a family, that the parent is there, which is more important role, and they have to take accountability on that. First thing, every family, every school, you'll find, if you categorize your class, there's a two type of parent. One parent is fully educated, semi-educated. Some are not as much educated, they can guide their children. Now, as a school, as a leader, as a teacher, what we have to do and what the parent has to do at the home. Because now this pandemic is for all, not for principal, not for the teachers, not for the student, parents also. Now, as a parents, you are sitting in the home, so I'll just advise you one point here. Whatever work profile you have, you are working from home, but still spend 1 hour with your child. I'll tell one sentence, a lot of finance, this metamorphosis is the linked with entrepreneurial finance, they are telling. It is better to invest 1 hour with the children. It will give more fixed deposit in turn of return and mutual fund. Investing 1 hour will give more return in interest than fixed deposit and mutual fund and market sectors. One thing as a parent at your home, You need to invest here at least 1 hour time. What exactly child is doing? What is the school schedule? How the online classes is moving on? What the child has done? How much time is that in a gadget? How much screening time he is doing? So that has to, you have to take care of that. Those who are educated parents or both who are working in the working sector, they are working in the different places. Now second part is though parents not educated at all. This is a part of the teacher and the principal. What we have to do, we have to find out these are the parents also available in our school, so that you have to monitor these parents you educate. So 50% problem of this class is solved. 70%, 30% you will find the parents are not at all educated. That is the role of teacher as well as the principal. We have to monitor regularly over telephone by talking to them, as ma'am said, and also both Sri Lakshmi ma'am said, the connection and creating opportunity, connection, emotional well-being. This connection will develop the emotional well-being, and it will connection will create the connectivity in the school, the bonding between the school. So parent, your essential role. Now what role is over? Then you are thinking homeschooling. Now you thought that I have taught couple of days to the children, so I am an expert. I can teach my children. That is the concept come for the homeschooling. And then lot of, if you look at the Indian scenario, this homeschooling is increasing day by day, but it is not as per the context you think about it. The thing is that homeschooling is not homeschooling only possible when one is behind the child. You have to take full responsibility of your child first. Second thing is that is criteria matching to your child. If you have two parents in the same, your single child, who is going to stay at home or educating? Which type of tutor you are going to get it? How it is expensive? It is will mentally match with my children also, because you have studied in different environment. Your child you want to put a different under. Your mindset of your child mindset will set or not. That you have to do, look. What are government advisory policy for the homeschooling? Are these socially acceptable? All these things. These are the criteria you have to think before thinking about the homeschooling or online education in further advance. These are the parents, you have to take your own child decision, because nobody will guide you. People can, with this forum, will just give you a path, but path decision is yours. So the things, when parenting comes, then homeschooling comes. Now it is the decision of parents which one they want to take forward their child education. And if you feel, yes, that is, if you are, there's a lot of advantage also, independent learner, child can engage, skill development. These are the benefits. But certain time we have to see what exactly you want to do for your child. What you want to do. Is this homeschooling socially acceptable? Is the home to be recognized with all the government? Is the homeschooling affordable to you? Is the homeschooling, I'm accountable for my homeschooling? So these all the tutors are other efficient trained tutors are available for the homeschooling. That all these things you have to think, because this link into parenting and homeschooling. This is now over to Muhammad, please.
Yeah, homeschooling is not a cakewalk for everyone. That's what I'm getting from you. Like, it's a huge responsibility on every side of the stakeholder. Got that. Let me the last question to Sri Lakshmi ma'am. See, you being a project-based school, and and you're addressing the social emotional aspects of the children. As a teacher, they impacted by this online education model, and how we are addressing that.
Sorry, could you repeat that question? I just missed the last few words.
Yeah. So the question is like social emotional aspect of the teachers. Are they impacted by this online education? Because teachers are the key people who are taking classes. Are they impacted by this model, and how we are addressing that?
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Mohammed. I think as we've been discussing, right, the three main stakeholders in any question that we ask each other, or anything that we discuss. It's the teachers, it's the parents, and it's the kids. I come from a culture in terms of thinking that I strongly believe there is no need to worry about children at all. Kids are fine, and whatever situation you put them in a virtual learning environment, you could ask them to directly come to the school. It doesn't even take them a day to just fit into a new environment, right? Because children in general are very, very adaptive. Now, so where the problem comes from is with the parents and with the teachers. So, even as a mother, I feel, anything that's going wrong with my children, I always just reflect on, okay, what is that I'm doing? Where am I going wrong, right? And that's when accordingly, the kids are going to react based on our responses, based on our behaviors, based on the kind of environments that we create. Kids are going to respond to it. And why is that? Every single philosopher, so many philosophers that we read about, everybody just talks about creating the right environment, creating a conducive environment, right? And they're all, even philosophers from India or Western philosophers, they all have to say that you are the one who should be learning, and you are the one who should just be creating that environment for children, and they will do their job. They will learn, and we just need to observe them and support them based on what they need and based on our observations. So now this brings us back to teachers and parents. So what are we doing as teachers and parents? We've done a small survey as part of our school's research and intervention with a small group of parents, parents from international schools, parents from low income schools or middle income schools. When we interacted, the discussions that parents, or the kind of things that parents are worried about when it comes to online education is, how about, my child getting, the personal attention. I'm worried about the screen time. I'm, worried about, my child getting enough number of opportunities in just that 1 hour rather than the whole day, schooling, or whether he's going for sports, is he getting science classes, is he getting, everything. They're just trying to compare their actual schooling to the online schooling environment. Now, coming to the lower income group of schools and the parent group there, and what kind of discussions are they having? Their discussion is, from which person can I borrow a mobile, from which person can I borrow an iPad, and how can I just make my child just sit and listen to his teacher. Now, the discussion is not about screen time. The discussion is not about how much time he's sitting and everything. Easy sitting every day in front of the device and listening to what the teacher is telling him. Now, the another category is of parents who are not even aware if anything is happening at all, right? Where these kids, very honestly, they are not even learning anything. Yes, government did introduce online classes, and through television model, to so many apps and applications, but it has not really reached to the bottom level of this category of parents, right? So when we look at how do we prepare parents, I'm talking about all categories of parents, and then how do we prepare teachers? One thing about teachers is, if there is anything that I can really appreciate, it's the teachers, because in a general situation, let's say any school, right? Keeping aside, any other innovative schools or international schools, in any typical school, when you bring in a new system or a new, if you just make a small change, you usually face rigidity. Right? Oh, how do we do it? I can't change the timetable. It's very difficult. We don't have time to make corrections, and there's exams and this and that. But because of pandemic, no questions asked. Every single teacher immediately turned into a technology expert. Right? So that sudden shift, and also, is one thing that we can appreciate. At the same time, I'm sure a lot of schools have done enough homework even before the schools have started. What's the best platform? How can they discuss? How can they collaborate? How can they, interact with each other? For example, at our school, we don't have any staff rooms or any special dedicated rooms for our teachers. Everybody just sits among the children and just outside the classes, and then we have a very collaborative environment. Now, just yesterday, we were discussing about, there was a teacher who's one of the family members has come, is suffering with COVID. There's another teacher who herself tested positive, because of the COVID situation. Every single day, at the end of the day, 1 hour is being gone, for our leadership team, just for moral counseling of all those teachers who are going through this. A dedicated time, and it's almost like it's part of the timetable now. That just conversations, right? There is no other way. I mean, you can't really design these things. It has to be those emotional and moral support to each other. And there are greater chances now. What if these teachers give up? And then the students will be disturbed. Is that what we want to think about, or do we want to think about, no, she needs us emotionally right now? So there are multiple things when we talk about social emotional needs of teachers and also parents. For parents, it's the first time they're looking at a live classroom, right? There's so much of anxiety, there's so much of excitement or disappointment, or so many things. So constantly we're also going through personally counseling. But I don't know how this would be possible when you have a large number of students. Let's say you have 6,000, 5,000, 2,000 number of kids. Whether it's physically possible for the schools to be able to do this. But it is really important that as schools, as educationists, we have to invest our time to just listen to our parents and to listen to our teachers, understand their emotional status, and give proper individual counseling based on their individual situations and backgrounds. And I think that's when we can really come out of the situation in a very strong way. Yeah, back to you, Mohammed.
1 hour daily for the teachers and leadership team. Great. Ma'am, almost all the questions have been addressed. One question which I would like to from the panelists, we're getting into the Q&A now. And from the Q&A, there are two questions which is very common. One is the innovative methodology, and one is the assessment part. So which one you would like to address? You can address it. Sure.
I think I'll go by assessment.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Assessment is fine. Okay. Actually, for assessment, there are a few tools. I would say the most commonly used is, I'm talking about the Google Classrooms, okay? The Google Forms is one of the ways where you can assess a child in the same format like how you would assess them in school, based on the marking scheme of what the board requires. Okay. Then there are different forms of assessment. One form of assessment is when we want to be sure, like in a classroom, we all keep asking, when we see them, what happens with their expressions, with their body language, whether they have understood or not, or you keep asking them, have you understood this? But when you're in the online mode, how are you sure that this concept that I've taught has reached out to the student? So there have to be tools for assessing your own teaching, whether it has reached the student. So I would say a few tools which we regularly use is for actual formative kind of the papers. It would be the Google form, or also we can have the quizzes. And we have tools like Socrative. Socrative is another very good tool, to assess whether the content has reached out to the student. And also, if you want to have the short answers, see why people like short answers through Google Form is correction is, the marking is done at the moment the student has put the answers. So what happens, the result, the child knows whether he has scored in this or he has scored in the other one. Then there are different other tools, like we have also the quizzes, the Ep5, where we actually can go in for assessing. So it is depending on which subject, you're teaching, which kind of assessment you want to do. You can split up maybe into two, because two long papers, again, online would be a little difficult, like how you have your 100 marks or 80 marks, like how we have the term exams. There you can split it up. You know that you have questions which are 2 markers. You know the questions which are 1 marker. Give them that stipulated. See, you can assign the time limit for that, and those questions can be done using any of the assessment tools. But when it comes to all these formative, I think the best way is like you have a 4 marker wherein you have to write a lot of points. Then it's better that they do it in Google Form. They write it, they do the cam scan and put it in the in the classrooms. When they post it in the classroom, we can schedule, and actually prior to that, you schedule according. Supposing you want an exam to start at 8:30, and at night, what you can do is you just schedule it and put it in the classroom. So it opens at the right time, so that at that moment, the child is all sitting, writing down, and sending it back to the teacher using the cam scanner. So it reaches them for the bigger ones. The others you can use any of the tools. That's a lot of tools actually. One needs to do a little research on that. But what is most popular is Socrative for all the 2 markers and one marker questions. So I think Ed5 also does a very good job actually. And for teaching, we can use this Padlet and Nearpod and all, which is very good. You know, you put in your contents and the student understands that very well, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, Jaydeep sir, can you say one word?
So one word in the sense, what ma'am said is absolutely right for the assessment. Which every school need to be use multiple tools for the children, because what ma'am said, it is not a one form you can assess the children. What she said, Socrative also, Google Forms are there, Kahoot is also lot of, because LMS, lot of LMS has been developed. But thing is that school has to plan. And I feel exactly. Socrative is doing, yes, because what we found, we are doing assessing all the children, but what is the share in the platform, the other viewers can see, they can practically apply in the school also. And Socrative tool, this is the formative assessment, very niche one. And you can, I can see in the chartboard, one teacher says, ask a question, ki, how can you address the lower order thinking children? Now, Socrative is the very good tool where you can categorize the level of a question in 3 categories. Exactly. One is level 1, level 2 and level 3. And this, there is a color code is given. Ma'am is experiment, so she is smiling on the part, because this is a very good tool where you can access the children, you can taste the, and online, what the children are doing, at least your screen, you can see this. Yeah. And immediately to drop out the report. The report you can send to the parents, what are the things has been not done or not targeted by the children, that can be taken as a remedial classes, which your ma'am was telling earlier, and selection was taking. So that can be remedial classes can be taken into consideration, and you can take in the separate classes for that children. So that one of the viewers, he has written lower order thinking. So that children can be addressed, because you can find these are the children. So you can connect these children properly and you can do the proper assessment. Thank you, ma'am, bringing this point in this platform. Thank you.
Yes.
Sri Lakshmi ma'am, one word and the concluding remarks for you.
Hi. Yeah, I think we all, I think there's so much of, positive energy that I hear from all the panelists, irrespective of the challenging situations that we are in. And I really appreciate every single, effort put in by, all the educators around the world around this time. And another very good thing that I had observed initially when I, came back, as an educator to India, I've seen, people being very restricted and not ready to really share the knowledge. But I have seen a huge amount of change in the way educators are approaching, especially sharing knowledge with each other, right? And that's what people say, right? Challenging times bring people together. So that's my experience, and I strongly wish that more and more educators come out and share whatever knowledge we've gained and the learning experiences we have, and on open platforms, not just webinars or things like that, but proper WhatsApp groups or wherever, and that helps a lot. And that helps even a small teacher out there in a rural village will be able to really do wonders with children as they teach them. So I just wish we all continue to take this kind of culture and learning forward, even post COVID situation also. Yeah. Really happy to be here.
Thank you for that summary. Thank you for that concluding remarks. And I thank all the panelists and the wonderful audience for posing the questions and keeping us engaged. Thank you, Disha, for giving the opportunity to moderate. And I'm very proud and very honored to be the moderator for this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank each one of you to give your thoughts, and we've learned a lot as to how in this digital platform, what are the new innovations each one of you have taken. So thank you for all the enlightening thoughts. I think the viewers have really enjoyed the session. So and yeah, I'm really glad the kind of questions we've got, all of them were addressed. So that's a good thing as well. So thank you all for joining us today at Dialogue with Educationists. Next week we'll be coming up soon, so stay tuned. See you all next week. Have a good day and stay safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank
everyone.
you so
Nice to
much.
meet you all.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Nice meeting you all.